Good afternoon and welcome to the EFL Championship live on LFS this afternoon, and we have one game offering for you this afternoon. Sheffield Wednesday taking on Plymouth as the opening weekend of the new season continues. We had a vast amount of fixtures yesterday and on Friday night to bring you 10 games already down. Blackburn got their new season off to a winning start on Friday night. So did Sheffield United, both getting victories on the board. Sunderland won away at Cardiff. Hull and Bristol City drew 1-1 at the MKM. Leeds had to come from behind twice to get a draw out of Portsmouth, newly promoted Portsmouth getting a result at Elland Road. Middlesbrough 1-0 winners at home to Swansea. Millwall beaten at home to Watford. They were 2-0 down, came all the way back to 2-2 before Watford scored the winner. Oxford United causing the upset of the weekend, winning 2-0 against Norwich, newly promoted Oxford United of course. QPR beaten 3-1 at home to West Brom. And Stoke getting a victory on the board, a 1-0 win for them on Saturday lunchtime. This afternoon we witness Sheffield Wednesday against Plymouth. A Plymouth side who battled against relegation last season and they stayed in the division. Sheffield Wednesday, who also did the same. They will be hoping, both of these clubs, that they're not near that side of the table this time round. And Sheffield Wednesday, who've massively improved in the second half of that season under Danny Rowell, have really got something to win out of this. And they want to get a win in the opening weekend of the season to get that season up and running with a good start. And not look down the table, but only look up it. We'll have one more game to come for you after this game. Luton taking on Burnley is the final game of the opening weekend, Monday night, offering for you there. Right, so let's have a look at the teams then. Danny Rowell names a pretty strong side, of course, to start the new season. James Beadle starts in goal. Jan Valery, Dominic Iorfa, Deshaun Bernard and Max Lowe make up the defensive four. Savante Ingelsson and Barry Bannon, the captain, make up the defensive midfield too, with Josh Windass in a more attacking role. Either side of him is Dejezi Gassama and Anthony Musaba as the wingers, with the forward Jamal Lowe leading the line for Wednesday. For Wayne Rooney's Plymouth. Wayne Rooney in charge of Plymouth for the first time this afternoon. He starts with Connor Hazard in goal. A back four of Victor Palsson, Lewis Gibson the captain, Brendan Galloway and Nathaniel Ogbeta the defensive four. Darko Giabi and Adam Forshaw make up the defensive midfield, with Morgan Whittaker in the 10 role. Mustafa Bundu and Ibrahim Sissoko are the two wingers, with Mohamed Tijani the centre forward. Sheffield Wednesday under Danny Rowell ended last season pretty positively and avoiding relegation. Plymouth, they also avoided relegation and are under a new management of Wayne Rooney. He's not had a great success in his previous jobs. He'll be hoping for the turn of the tide at Plymouth. Kick-off at Hillsborough is next. A very good afternoon and welcome to Championship Live for our third Championship coverage game of the weekend. Out of 4, we have one more to come for you tomorrow night, as I mentioned. But this one, a very interesting and intriguing affair. Wayne Rooney's first in charge of Plymouth. What can he do? And he'll be hoping that he can have more success at this club than he has in his 3 previous clubs, of course. Started at Derby, then went to DC United, and his last starting a very, very short spell at Birmingham City last season. And one manager who did come in and transform the club, Danny Rowell. He won 50 points from the 35 games in charge at Sheffield United. But of course, here at Sheffield Wednesday, he's had an incredible start to the campaign. Well, last season, the second half of the campaign, I mean. And he's hoping for an incredible start to the new campaign, to continue that form of last season into this one and get them a first win on the opening weekends. Doing the final checks there, the officials. Plymouth will get us underway as the anthem rings around Hillsborough as we get underway. Sheffield Wednesday fans want to look up the table and want to feel more positive about their club and that wary time that they had last season before Danny Rowell took the position of manager. They massively improved when he came into the job. They did avoid relegation ultimately. They were rock bottom before Danny Rowell entered the position. Just 3 points. Remember, they did get that points deduction last season, which was another stain on the season for Sheffield Wednesday. But in the end, a new season, a new campaign, and new beginnings. And as a fresh start for both of these clubs. Of course, Plymouth were promoted last season to the Championship and getting that real bounce that they wanted in the Championship. Last season was their first Championship season in 14 years, so it was a long spell without it, and it would have been a terrible way if they had to go down once again to League One at the first time of asking, but they survived by a single point on the final day, Plymouth, with Birmingham losing out in that position below them. Here's Sheffield Wednesday. On the ball there was Musaba, who tried to step in field. He won the free kick. They've taken it quickly. They want to keep this pace going. Down the left-hand side it comes. Windass looking to work it into the box as the ball's bouncing in the air. Plymouth couldn't clear the ball. It was called a handball as Windass wins it back again. Bannon. Josh Windass. And they play it to Tiani. Bisama. Brought down in the box. The referee moved there as it's cleared away by Plymouth. Mixed up the two centre forwards there. It was Deji Gassama. Just broke away from the defender there, Lewis Gibson, the Plymouth captain, and he goes to ground, but it's not a penalty claim in that for me. Looked a bit soft. We have other games underway in other leagues this afternoon. I did mention, if you were watching our Scottish Premiership coverage a bit earlier this afternoon, I did mention the two Scottish Premiership kickoffs at 3 o'clock. We told you we'd keep you up to date with those. I'll bring you up to date with those in just a second, as well as the Irish Premiership. There's one game in the Irish Premiership as well. We'll keep you up to date with all 3 o'clock kickoffs. Aberdeen at half-time are 1-1 with St Mirren, and the second half just got underway between Kilmarnock and St Johnstone. And Kilmarnock, after losing 4-0 to Celtic last week, already 2-0 down to St Johnstone and a man down as they start the second half. So a really dreadful start to the day for Kilmarnock and the new season at home for them. And in the Irish Premiership, Cliftonville, the Irish Cup champions, on holders, take on the newly promoted Portadown. Cliftonville leading by a goal to nil. Ryan Curran, the captain, scoring there for Cliftonville. Right, so we'll keep you up to date with all of those matches this afternoon while we watch this one at Hillsborough. And interesting to see kind of what Danny Rowell can build with Sheffield Wednesday after that impressive end to last season and saving them. You know, we talk about Plymouth saving themselves on the final day. Sheffield Wednesday had to do the work till the final day. They finished on 53 points last season. It's only 3 points above relegation, but they ended the season with 3 straight victories. Away to Blackburn, at home to West Brom, and away to Sunderland on the final day to secure safety. They actually were unbeaten in the last 6 championship games to end the season, which was an incredible run to finish off the campaign to secure safety for Wednesday. Here is Max Lowe trying to work it into the box, and the shot from Windass is deflected. It will be pumped away for a throw. See it again. Wayne Rooney's side under early pressure. It's a good break down the left-hand side. Max Lowe just cuts it back into the box, and Josh Windass gets on the end of it. Has the shot with the left boot, and it just comes off one of the defenders. I think it's Adam Forshaw that gets in the way of it, and he puts it behind. It will be a corner, actually. Goes behind for the corner, of which the Sheffield Wednesday captain, Barry Bannon, will take. Looking for options in the box. There's height in there for both sides. Bannon to fizz it across. Came off a Plymouth head there on the way through. It's out to the other side. Brought down by Iorfa. Ingleson gets it through to Iorfa. Cuts it across. Again, headed clear. That time by Galloway. Good early pressure from Wednesday here as Valerie threads it through the lines. As out on the right hand side is Ingleson. Trying to squeeze it into the box, but they're marked man for man here on the in and around the box at the moment. As Sissoko tries to break away down the right, and Again wins a corner. Really good play from Sheffield Wednesday to start this first half. Really strong start to this match from the home side. Really trying to impose themselves in the early moments on the visitors. You can see already a couple of set pieces. Another delivery from the right. Cleared away. Comfortable header. Bannon will pick up the loose ends. Out to the right hand side. Brought down. Will be a Sheffield Wednesday throw. Adam Forshaw came out there. And put the ball out of play for a Wednesday throw as Wayne Rooney watches on from the sidelines. Of course, fascinating to see Wayne Rooney back in the managerial scene. Of course, did have that faltering spell at Birmingham last season. Ultimately, Birmingham is getting relegated to League One. Not directly from Wayne Rooney, but partially so, of course. Took charge of 15 matches last campaign as Plymouth get a free kick there as Sheffield Wednesday play a bit of head tennis in the box. And ultimately, the retreating Mohamed Tiani wins Plymouth a free kick. Taking their time. Connor Hazard here to take this free kick for Plymouth. Plymouth, of course, last season ended the season with a win. A 1-0 victory at home against Hull City on the final day. Actually lost their two previous games before that, away to Stoke and away to Millwall. So that real kind of atmosphere at home park helped them through on the final day and got them over the line ultimately. Unbeaten in the last 3 home games of the season were Plymouth, including a 1-0 victory against Leicester, the eventual league champions. So some positive results and some big performances at the end of last season to really secure that safety in the championship. Barry Bannon there not particularly happy with a few challenges going in. And referee this afternoon, who will be closely watching all that, Lewis Smith, in charge of his 10th championship game as a referee. One of the young referees. Refereed the League One playoff semi-final, of which Oxford beat Peterborough back in May. Has had a couple of championship games last season. Here and there. He actually refereed Sheffield Wednesday's 4-0 defeat to Southampton back in January, and also refereed Plymouth's 1-1 draw away at Elland Road in the FA Cup, also in January. So he has refereed these two clubs before in recent times. Referee Lewis Smith. As Sheffield Wednesday get a throw in down the left hand side, of which Ingleson will take, and it looks like it's going to be a long throw going to be targeted here. Let's see what they can produce from this one. Ingleson with a long throw into the box. Again, Plymouth head to clear it away. Bannon trying to win it back for Wednesday. He just overhits that pass, but they get the break of the ball there. It's got a bit of a scramble as Plymouth try and hoof it up the pitch, and it comes all the way back to James Beadle in the Sheffield Wednesday goal. The home crowd are up for this today. A sunny afternoon in Sheffield. This Sunday afternoon, a lovely day for football. It's always the start of the season. You always get those nice summery days because, quite ironically, we're in the summer. But it's usually at this time of the year that we do get the best summer weather in the UK. It's a lovely touch. And Sissoko trying to break down the right hand side. He's trailed down there. That's not a good challenge by Darko Gyabi. And he gives away the free kick. He just pulled back there. And Giabi giving away that free kick. And getting a yellow card. Not a yellow card, sorry. Just a free kick. He's on a season-long loan from Leeds United. Darko Giabi. Another set piece here for Sheffield Wednesday. Quite a number of set pieces in the first 10 minutes. Right-footed delivery. The header not convincing as Hazard has to come and punch. And the ball will bounce out for a Wednesday throw on the left-hand side. Not convincing defensively there at all from Plymouth. Set piece defending not great, and then Hazard just comes and punches the ball out for the throw. Here's Max Lowe. So back to Josh Windass. Now in between the lines. Here's Gassama. Finds a little bit of space in the shot from Ingleson. Forces Connor Hazard to make the save. And gets another corner for Sheffield Wednesday. That's really nice play in between the lines. Lovely way to ball from Windass. Perfect work from Gassama. Just picks up a little bit of space, and then Ingleson's got time and space in the box. Takes the shot with his left boot, and then Hazard dives to his right to put it behind for the corner. Lots of bodies in that 6-yard box. Windass right-footed delivery. Hazard was close. Was go out for another corner. So Hazard had the last touch on that one. Windass to deliver again. High to the back post. Headed across goal and tried to go for the overhead kick there. And let's see who that was that went for the overhead kick. It's a really deep cross to the back post and it's headed across, and yeah, the overhead kick's not great. It's a good header across goal by Ayorfa. I think it might be, is it Gassama that gets the header or the overhead kick? A bit optimistic, but if you've got the chance to do it, no harm in trying it. They've certainly been the better side in the early moments. Plymouth have had quite a bit to deal with. Quite a bit of defending to do for the visitors in the early moments. 79% possession for Sheffield Wednesday so far in the 13 minutes we've played here at Hillsborough this afternoon. Lovely 1-2 touch football in between the lines from Wednesday, and look at the space on the left hand side. Here's Gassama breaking into the box, looking for the cross, and well blocked. Again, good work by Sheffield Wednesday in between the lines in the midfield, and then they just drive it out to the left hand side, and there's acres of space for Anthony Musaba to break into, and just tries to go for the cross, blocked out for the throw, but really good football once again. Bannon doing very well at winning it back and leaving Mustafa Bundu in his wake. Very experienced Barry Bannon, of course. 34-year-old Scotsman. Joined on a free for Sheffield Wednesday 9 years ago. 31st of August 2015. He joined the club. Has been with them ever since, and probably one of their best ever free signings they've ever gotten. He had spells with many a Premier League club. Came through the Aston Villa ranks. And went on a couple of loans, Derby, Blackpool, Leeds, amongst them before signing for Crystal Palace. Then went on loan to Bolton, and then joined Sheffield Wednesday on a free, and has never looked back since then. He's been here through the ups and the downs for Sheffield Wednesday all the way through the last 9 years, and he's hoping that this club can have one of their ups once again, because it's been a lot of downs as of recently, and they're hoping that they can have a few ups to balance it out, because it's been very unbalanced in the last number of years. And with Danny Roll, it looks like it could be a bright future for Sheffield Wednesday if the form that they've got under him continue. Here's Musaba breaking down the left. Lovely touch infield. Musaba looking for the shot, but edge of the box. It's a team effort. Not a massive amount of power on the end of the shot, and enough easy enough for Connor Hazard to get on the end of. But a really nice basting run down the left-hand side from Musaba. Steps in field, and again, Plymouth players just not engaging. Paulson just tracked him all the way back, but doesn't stop him. Just allows him that time and space to run across goal and have an opportunity, and ultimately it's the power of the shot that lets Musaba down, but everything before that was pretty much impressive. Here's a chance for Ibrahim Sissoko for Plymouth. First real foray forward into the Wednesday box. The ball across, and that's headed away by Ayorfa, and will be a Plymouth corner. A goal to tell you about in the Scottish Premiership. Aberdeen have taken the lead once again. Jimmy McGrath has given them a 2-1 lead against St Mirren. It is Aberdeen 2, St Mirren 1. So corner here for Plymouth. 16 minutes gone. 0-0. But Sheffield Wednesday have been the better side. Plymouth with their first real chance. Corner comes in, not cleared away. But ultimately can't be found by a Plymouth player. And now Wednesday try and counter-attack, but they have bodies back there, Plymouth, to just cover that one over and get it back to their keeper to ensure no bother from that position. Max Lowe tried to pump it forward. Bannon just nips in there, but again that pass couldn't find a teammate, and Lewis Gibson nicks it away. Back to Victor Paulson, but the flag was up anyway against Jamal Lowe there. We've not heard very much from in those opening minutes, considering the amount of possession that Sheffield Wednesday have had. And like I've said Jamal Lowe's name once until that point. Not of his own fault, of course. Bannon tried to stretch for that one, lost out. And now the counter is on here for Plymouth, edge of the box. Tried to play the pass out to the left-hand side. Sissoko trying to weave his way through. Well tracked by Jan Valery. And the last touch is actually off Sissoko in the end, and he's not happy at all with the officials. Looked like a corner, but we'll see it again. Really good, nice breakaway by Bundy through the middle, and he's got a pass down the left-hand side. Finds Sissoko, kind of takes the rhythm out of the moment. He does well, and Jan Valery stretching to cover him over. You can't see the close-up angle, but the officials felt it was a goal kick, and the last touch came off Ibrahim Sissoko, so goal kick to Sheffield Wednesday. Here's Musaba. They're going to switch it out. Look at the space on the right-hand side. Brought down nicely. And I try to make the run into the box there. It was Gassama played the nice ball, and might have been Valery on the overlap. Worked it well and wins the corner. Wide areas. Plymouth looked absolutely nowhere to be seen. They were completely overrun in those wide areas. Especially Gassama. Had acres of space in that right-hand flank. Another corner incoming. Fizz to the edge of the box. Bundy to head it clear. Plymouth try and conjure up a counter. Well dealt with at the back there by Sheffield Wednesday. Bernard pumps it forward, and it finds the hands of Connor Hazard in the Plymouth goal. Again, Plymouth can't keep the ball in the shot from distance there. Have another chance at it there. I think it was Josh Windass. It was. As Ingelsson just oversteps the mark and battling there in the midfield, but the free kick will be given the way of the visitors. Windass just, or Ingelsson, sorry, just getting a bit muddled up with his first touch. I have to say, with the little amount of possession and play on the ball that Wayne Rooney's team have had, they've held out and rode that challenge, and certainly not had an impact from it. They've not conceded, which is a crucial point. After 20 minutes. Well, it's really kind of interesting to think, it wasn't that long ago Wayne Rooney was playing football. Can you believe it or not? But, of course, was player-manager at Derby in his first job. From November 2020 when he first made his managerial debut. Over the spell as player-manager and then manager as Derby over those two season and a half that he had. He managed 84 games and won 25 of those 84 games. Lost a total of 38, so a big deficit on that front, and drew 21 of his games. Then he joined DC United, of course, in July of 2022. Over 53 games in charge of that club in a year and a half spell. He won 14 of his 53 games. That's just over 1 point per game. There's a little bit of a drinks break at the moment here. With the Heats, as I was saying, DC United, he won 14 of the 53 games in charge of DC United. And then at Birmingham, of course, most recently, joined Birmingham in October of 2023 and was sacked in January of this year. So around 2 months in charge, 2.5 months in charge of Birmingham, 15 games to be exact, of which he won just 2 of those 15 games, lost 9, less than 1 point per game. And then, of course, was appointed Plymouth manager at the end of May. So, an upside-down career so far in management. I mean, no doubting his playing career. That will never come into question. But as a manager so far, he's still yet to prove himself at the top level, at the highest level, or even at any level, to be honest, in his professional managerial career, which is quite a lot of the frustration and the criticism that's been thrown at him by the fans of the clubs that he has managed, but also by the wider managerial and footballing world, because they do say you may be a great player and a wonderful footballer, but that doesn't always kind of transcend into management and into coaching. Not every great player will become a great manager. It's just, and I'm not sitting here trying to down out Wayne Rooney, not a chance, but the proof's in the pudding, as they say. And look, a new start, a clean slate here for Wayne Rooney at Plymouth, and a side that's looking up, that's looking to the future and hoping to try and consolidate their place in the Championship this season. And we'll see if they can do that, of course. And of course, hopefully, he can bring them a lot of success, quite objectively, of course, with no skin in the game. But we've seen quite a lot of his teammates, or the teammates he would have had at Manchester United, do well at various Championship clubs. I mean, no one more so than Kieran McKenna, who of course got Ipswich promoted straight back to back from the League One and the Championship up to the Premier League. And of course the likes of Michael Carrick, who's doing a very good job at Middlesbrough as well, pipped to be one of the favourites this season, Middlesbrough. But Wayne Rooney's still yet to prove himself on that level for with the likes of those that he used to play with. So we're back from the drinks break. If I was to find out for you what temperature it is, it's not often you see a drinks break, but in 25 degree Sheffield heat, you would get a drinks break. It's not a normal temperature in these parts of the world, and I mean, some of these players aren't from England or from Sheffield. Quite a lot of them aren't, but not all of them would be used to this type of heat. Not many of them, especially in this climate. Anyway, 25 degrees, and then we're into the 25th minute of this game, and it is 0-0. Plymouth have grown into the game as such, in a sense. Here is Sissoko, who's been part of that, and he wins the free kick there just around the edge of the box. Really smart play, just committing Jan Valery into making a pretty naive challenge, and Ibrahim Sissoko wins Plymouth a free kick in a decent area in and around the edge of the box, wide on the left hand side. as I was saying, they've kind of grown into the game, Plymouth. They had that really tough spell at the start where they were getting none of the ball and it was all Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, they haven't had a shot yet, but they're getting more possession. They're starting to play those passes and just seeing them slowly just grow into the game. We'll see if they can have their first attempt of the afternoon, of the season, here with this free kick. What a good take. Right-footed strike, and that one straight at the keeper. And a simple enough catch for James Beadle, who was not tested whatsoever by that free kick. It was a direct free kick, but wasn't never going to test the Sheffield Wednesday keeper there, as they're penalised for a foul in the middle. Darko Gyabi getting the free kick off Anthony Musaba. But instantly, as Plymouth take the free kick, they give it away. Musaba, though, got a bit wasteful in the middle, but his teammates are there to help mop up Max Lowe, along with Barry Bannon. And the crowd have gone a bit flat here. No offence, not digging out the Sheffield Wednesday fans, but the atmosphere has just gone a bit flatter than it was in the early moments when Wednesday were on top massively. Although this is a nice break forward down the right hand side for them. This will get the crowd going. The cross comes into the box. Again, good header. Jamal Lowe was the target but couldn't find him in that mix. That's really well worked. Great battle from JG Gassamba. And now he gets it forward. Down the right hand side. The cross comes in and it's gone all the way through and put out the other end by Victor Palsson, who had to clear it. There was a threat at the back post. It was a really nice move down the right hand side again. Gassama done really well to win the ball back, fed it down the right flank, and the cross came in. Really nice cross from Valerie, and Jamal Lowe was the target. He was in and around there and he was just crowded out by Plymouth bodies, and Victor Palsson took no risks and put it behind for the corner. Barry Bannon to take. On the left hand side, left footed delivery, curling one out and goes behind. It will be a deflected one. It will be another corner, and I'll not be repeating that phrase again. Well, goals conceded from corners last season, these two were at the top of the tree. Well, joint top. 11 goals conceded from corners, alongside the likes of Blackburn and West Brom were in that mix as well, with 11 conceded. So quite a number of teams were pretty poor from set pieces last campaign. I mean, Blackburn have already conceded 2 against newly promoted Derby on Friday night. 2 from set pieces. Right-footed delivery into the box is easily gathered by Connor Hazard. And that free kick, or that corner, sorry, a bit wasted ultimately in the end. And while we're talking at the moment, Jamal Lowe just couldn't reach that. There has been a bit of breaking news. We talk about Chelsea. I mean, they haven't stopped signing players ever since that new ownership took over, and they have got another one in the door. I mean, that door's bulging. I'll tell you about that in a moment, because Sheffield Wednesday have come into the box again. Edge of the box, here's Jamal Lowe trying to find the shot. Squeezed it, and the keeper was coming for it. Victor Palsson. I mean, he absolutely pummeled that out for the corner. I mean, he's taken the idea of taking no risk to a whole new level, because he absolutely thrashed that one out. I mean, that's panicky defending. That corner could have been completely avoided. The keeper was coming for it, and he didn't look vulnerable from that second challenge. An avoidable corner. Completely there for Plymouth. As the cross comes in, and there's a issue in there. The offside flag went up, I think. Josh Windass, I think, maybe was involved in that. So all ends in nothing there. As I was saying, Chelsea have another man in the door. They have confirmed the signing of Portuguese forward Pedro Neto from Wolves for £54 million. Pedro Neto, of course, a prolific goal scorer at times. When he did get into the out of the treatment room at Wolves, has joined Chelsea. and probably for about an 18-year contract, knowing Chelsea. Here is Barry Bannon. Shot over the bar. It's a good move by Sheffield Wednesday again, and Bannon just arriving at the edge of the tee. Took the strike from distance. He started the move down the right-hand side. Nice work down the flank. Ball shot back from Gassama, and Bannon just making the late run towards the box. Just struck right behind the ball. It was always curling away from goal. From the Sheffield Wednesday captain. Update in our other games that we're keeping an eye on. Cliftonville in the Irish Premiership still leading Portadown by a goal to nil. About 20 minutes to go in that one. Less than 20 to go in the two Scottish Premiership games. Aberdeen 2-1 up against St Mirren, and Kilmarnock are still 2-0 down away at home to St Johnstone. Kilmarnock with one less player on the field, of course. Now Yorfa does well to win the challenge. Breaks down the right-hand side. They've got bodies forward here. The cross. Bit overhit. There's a man on the floor for Wednesday, but referee says play on. Musaba. There's a flick it on, but Max slow. Couldn't reach it. Just a bit much from Musaba there. But again, a really well-worked move. The football from Sheffield Wednesday, really impressive so far. Really entertaining. And at the moment, at times, Plymouth are really, really struggling to get to grips with it. Just looking off it at times. But I'm sure, the Wednesday fans will be happy with the way they've started the game, but at the same time, they'll probably be a bit frustrated they haven't been able to find the net with the chances they've created so far in these early moments. 8 shots in the game, only 2 of them on target though. Here's Gassama. I'd have feeded him behind, but no one on the same page as Gassama there, and a goal kick to Plymouth. Good mix of results this weekend in the Championship. Some good away victories. As Plymouth try and add their name to the list. Here is Sissoko. And I'll go for the 1-2 link up with Bundu, but well closed out there by Wednesday at the back, and free kick there given. Gassama fouled. Free kick there to Sheffield Wednesday. As I was saying, some good away wins. Sheffield United won away from home. Sunderland away from home. A big result for Portsmouth away from home, of course. In their one, Watford winning away at Millwall. West Brom away at QPR. So some big results away from home for the visiting sides this weekend. Home wins haven't been uncommon. They certainly haven't been massively common. 4 home wins this weekend. Blackburn Rovers winning 4-2 against Derby. Middlesbrough's 1-0 win at home against Swansea, the 2-0 win for Oxford United against Norwich, and Stoke's 1-0 victory against Coventry. So an array of different results so far this weekend, and it's good to see. Really good to see the Championship back with a blast, and quite a number of goals, as you can see there on your screen down the left-hand side. All the results from the weekend so far. Good mix of results. Valerie here. Plays it into midfield. Finds the space for Bannon. Nice give and go. Ball across the box. It's almost a tap in. It is. Great chance. Great goal from Jamal Lowe. He's been under the radar for the first half, but he steps up when he's needed. And Jamal Lowe gives Sheffield Wednesday the deserved first half lead. They've played the better football, they've been the better side, and now they have that advantage to show for it. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Plymouth Argyle 0. Again, it comes down that right-hand side. It's where they've threatened all afternoon Wednesday, and it's down that narrow right flank. Barry Bannon plays a lovely ball forward. Nice give and go down the line. Great first touch. The outside of the left boot cross. And it's a wonderful chance. Beautiful cross by Ingleson. And it's a simple tap in for Jamal Lowe. Wonderful cross. Musaba was arriving as well if Jamal Lowe hadn't finished. So there was two men in there looking to try and find the finish, and it was Jamal Lowe that got that goal that gets Sheffield Wednesday the lead. And look, it's nothing short of what they've deserved in this first half. They've been the better side, and we now have the goal to show for it. And it'll certainly get the crowd up, because they, as I said, they were feeling a bit frustrated with how good they've played so far and the chances they've created. The fact that they hadn't found that lead would have been a frustrating factor, but they've got that deadlock broke and they want to kick on for now. Jamal Lowe, of course, one of the new boys at Wednesday. Joined, of course, after the start of July. Was on loan at Swansea last season. As initially contracted to Bournemouth. That loan ended at Swansea at the end of last season, and Bournemouth decided to give him to Sheffield Wednesday. I'm sure it's for a fee, but I'm unsure as to what that was. But Jamal Lowe is a Sheffield Wednesday player, and he has his account opened at his very first time of asking. Competitively, that is, because he has played a couple of club friendlies for Wednesday, building up to this start to the new season. Bannon, nice start of ball. Look at the run in behind. Here's another chance. The flag was up anyway. The shot was off target ultimately, and it was Gassama that made the run in behind. Lovely run in behind. Just see it again. It's narrow. Yeah, he's just offside there. Gassama just darts that run a bit too early. And really well held by the Plymouth defensive line there. Ultimately, good shot. Good save by Connor Hazard. The flag went up anyway, it didn't matter for Gassama. Bannon popping balls around. That's a lovely one. Out wide to Ingleson. Tried to take the touch infield. Wanted a handball. And the officials completely unfazed. The referee does not move a muscle. Well, he does. He's running away. But does not point to the spot anyway. And does not think that that was a penalty. I mean, we'll get a replay of it. But on first glance, it didn't look like there was any real issues there from my point of view. On the Plymouth defender. Let's see it again. Ingleson just tries to take the touch infield, and I mean, Adam Forshaw can't really do anything about that. His arm's down by his side. It does come off his arm, but his arm's right down by his side. It's as tight as it could be to his body. There's just nothing that could be done about that. So the right decision there, I feel. No penalty. And it didn't look like it should have been on first glance. It wasn't one of those ones where it's quite inconspicuous. I mean, I witnessed a penalty in League One yesterday, and I was completely incensed at it. It was in the Birmingham game, Birmingham Reading, and I watched it, and I was like, that's never a penalty. And no hate to Birmingham. But the penalty was never a penalty. I mean, it was weak. It was really bad, and I just thought that was the referee piling under pressure. But this referee here this afternoon, Lewis Smith, so far, has refereed a pretty good game at this moment in time. Managed it well. And it's all mostly down to Sheffield Wednesday playing really good football in these early moments. As we enter the final 5 minutes of the first half. Well nicked away by Jamal Lowe from Adam Forshaw. As it comes out to the right-hand side now. Gassama. Now to Windass. Plays it in behind. Ingleson trying to make the run. Battling and commits a challenge and commits a foul there, Ingleson. On Lewis Gibson, the Plymouth captain. And ends up a free kick for the visitors there. Well, Jamal Lowe is doing his Erling Haaland impression. I said he flew under the radar. He's had 7 touches in this game. One of those was scoring the goal. I mean, that's Erling Haaland-esque. It's exactly what you want from your striker. Keep him out of the way for the build-up play, but make sure he's there in those poacher moments to finish off the chances. And so far, Jamal Lowe has done that. As Plymouth try and conjure up a response, but that was an easy dispossessing of Mustafa Bundu. And now Bernard plays out nicely down the left hand side. Look at this bit of pace from Musaba. Well closed out by Lewis Gibson, who had to come across, but he had his fullback on toast there, Anthony Musaba. Victor Palsson was nowhere to be seen. Well, the point of the fact, what does Wayne Rooney think? His side have had it tough in the early moments. They've held in there for the majority of it, but they'll be disappointed with the goal they conceded. They probably should have defended it better. That's really weak defending as the ball comes across the box again, and a slip. Barry Bannon recycles it. Out wide it goes again to Valerie. Back to Bannon. Flicks around the corner. Lovely first touch. And Jamal Lowe was in the mix there, but the free kick, I think, has gone the way of Plymouth. See it again. Break down the left-hand side again. I mean, Musaba absolutely twisting and turning around Victor Palsson like he's not there. Plays it across into the box in the run. Gassama was the threat. He just slips. Bannon keeps it alive, and then Jamal Lowe in the mix. Just maybe committing a slight foul on the Plymouth defender. Free kick to the visitors. Another goal in the Scottish Premiership. And that comes between Aberdeen and St Mirren in that one at Pittodrie, and it is 3-1 to Aberdeen. They have extended their lead. Now it is Aberdeen 3, St Mirren 1. So it looks like Aberdeen will keep their 100% record up and running for the new season. Got their victory on Matchday 1 away at St Johnstone. St Mirren also won their first game. They had a home victory against Hibs. But it looks like Aberdeen are the ones that are going to get back-to-back 3 points to join Celtic, join top of the league. They would do at the final whistle. St Johnstone, by the way, still 2-0 up away at Kilmarnock. That will be their first 3 points of the season. It would mean Kilmarnock and Hibs would be the two clubs without a set of points, any points, after the first 2 games of the season. And, as it stands, both clubs would not have scored up to this point. Kilmarnock seen out against Celtic last week, and at the moment being seen out by St Johnstone. And in the Irish Premiership as well, that other game that we're keeping an eye on, Cliftonville still that narrow lead against Portadown. Ryan Curran's goal, the difference between the two sides there at Solitude in Belfast. Right, here is Sissoko for Plymouth, looking to end the half on a high, but he had nowhere to go, and he got the foul. There, Ibrahim Sissoko. He's probably been Plymouth's best player in this first half. Ibrahim Sissoko winning those free kicks, getting them up the field. I haven't seen anything at all from Morgan Whittaker. Majority of the time when we've seen Plymouth play, get into the final third or get forward up the pitch. So mostly down that left-hand side. From the right-hand side, their attack has been pretty much non-existent. It's partly to the reason why we haven't seen Morgan Whittaker very much at all. Throw in here for Max Lowe to take for Wednesday, last minute of the first half. Third goal between Kilmarnock and St Johnstone. Get you there in a moment. So there's a collision in there. Jamal Lowe looking a bit excited to get to the ball and committed the foul on Brendan Galloway. And there's going to be a yellow card coming out as well for Jamal Lowe. It's just clumsy from Jamal Lowe. He comes flying out. There's no need to go charging into a challenge like that. I mean, he just clips Galloway, but it's just completely unnecessary. And for a man who's Had minimal touches in the game. He's got a goal and a yellow card to show for it. Certainly making his impact efficient, shall we say, with a little amount of ball that he's had. So he gets the first yellow card of the season for Sheffield Wednesday. 3 added minutes at the end of the first half then. Here at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Plymouth 0. As I was saying, there was a third goal between Kilmarnock and St Johnstone. And it is compounding the poor day that Kilmarnock have seen. They're going to be losing once again, and it's a third goal, and it's a penalty from Mubonga Kimoka. I apologise, I've absolutely butchered that name. I just looked up and Sheffield Wednesday were attacking. They are still attacking on the right hand side, and I didn't want to miss a goal or a possible chance, so I completely fumbled that name for St Johnstone. I'll get you that in a moment. I apologise. As Plymouth do clear their lines, I can tell you, Benjamin Mubonga Kempioka. There we go. Mubonga Kempioka. His penalty, 9 minutes from time, sees St Johnstone cruising to victory in that one, 3-0 up. Away at 10-man Kilmarnock. Well, one man here at Hillsborough who's watching on with his arms folded is Wayne Rooney. Watching his side at the moment, competing, but not convincingly, against Sheffield Wednesday. They've just given away another free kick, and a yellow card has come out. The man who's been winning all the free kicks for Plymouth has just got a bit frustrated and thrown in a challenge. Again, just a bit unnecessary from Ibrahim Sissoko, and he gets the yellow card. So free kick for Sheffield Wednesday. This is the last minute of the 3 added. Chance from a set piece to try and add to their lead that they could have at the interval. Barry Bannon, one of those over this free kick. Bannon leaves it, right-footed delivery into the box. Good clean header by a Plymouth defender once again to clear it away. And that one was just left by Gassama. And Wednesday will get the throw in on the left-hand side. Couple of seconds to go. Max Lowe taking this throw in. Bannon to harp it up the pitch. Goes out for another throw in. But there's no time to take that one. The first half comes to a close here at Hillsborough, and a first half to be proud of from a Sheffield Wednesday point of view. They do lead at the break narrowly, but they have more than deserved it. Jamal Lowe with single-digit touches, with his 7th touch of the game. Knocked it into the back of the net. Really good cross from the right-hand side. And a really clean finish from Jamal Lowe. Impressive. But Wayne Rooney's got work to do in his first game as Plymouth manager. Half-time in Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Plymouth 0. welcome back to the Championship live here on LFS. Half-time at Hillsborough. It is Sheffield Wednesday 1, Plymouth Argyle 0. At the break, two sides that avoided relegation from the Championship last season looking up the table for this season, but at the moment it is Sheffield Wednesday getting the better of the spoils, and they've been the better side in that first half. Very impressive, if I can get my words out there. They controlled a lot of possession, had a lot of good early chances, and really kind of dominated Plymouth the whole way through that first half. They had a few half moments, Plymouth, but nothing of real great concern to Sheffield Wednesday defensively speaking. But on the other front, very impressive from Sheffield Wednesday in that first half, and they deservedly lead. We'll run you through the results from the weekend and how the table looks during half-time, but keep you up to date with the other games elsewhere that are coming to a close. The two Scottish Premiership games and the Irish Premiership game, all in added time in the second half. Let's just bring up to date with the Scottish Premiership games for the moment. Aberdeen leading St Mirren by 3-1. And that one, Papa Gay gave Aberdeen the lead. St Mirren were level through Toyosi Olusanya just before half-time. Jamie McGrath then re-gave Aberdeen the lead before Vincente Bejuen has consolidated that lead. They lead by 3-1. They're into the second minute of added time. In that one, between Kilmarnock and St Johnstone, they're into the 98th minute there, so that should be called any time soon. St Johnstone took the lead through Adama Sibide in the third minute. Then Joe Wright got a second yellow card of the game in the 16th minute to see him sent off for Kilmarnock. And Adam Sidibe doubled the lead just before half-time before Benjamin Mubonga Kimpioka's penalty 9 minutes from time has them 3 up, and they are coming to a close in that one, still 3-0 St Johnstone. And in the Irish Premiership game, into the dying embers of that one, into the 94th minute of that game of 95 minutes, and Ryan Curran's first half finish has Cliftonville leading Portadown by 1-0. Ryan Curran also missed a penalty in that game in the first half. Right, so those are how the other games are currently going elsewhere. But here in the Championship, Sheffield Wednesday, I want to wax lyrical about them for the next 9.5 minutes, and I probably can. They've been wonderful in that first half. The way they've played, the energy they come out with, the aggression that they really kind of try to catch Plymouth early in the game, really dominated those first 20 minutes of the game. Constant pressure, those wide areas. I said it multiple times in that first half. The wide areas, Sheffield Wednesday were just popping it wide time and time again. I don't know how many times I said Diego Gassama and Anthony Musaba were breaking down each flank, testing at Plymouth each and every time. And I think they got a bit panicky at times, Plymouth. In defending, Victor Palsson put it behind a couple of times for some cheap corners when his keeper was ready to come for the ball. And it's those little moments, those panicky moments, where they could have broken that kind of momentum stage, and they could have kind of rode it out and took it slow and broke the momentum of Sheffield Wednesday. But giving them those corners kept them up the field, kept them in those areas, and kept the pressure on the Plymouth defence, and they just couldn't get away. But they started to grow into the game in the middle part of the half, Plymouth. They had a bit more positive, got a couple of free kicks. Really no threat at all to Sheffield Wednesday's goal at any point. Mostly their attacks have come down the left-hand side, and any time they've come forward, it's mostly been Ibrahim Sissoko winning free kicks has been their most kind of prolific attacking threat all through the half. But it's minimal, to say the very least, for Plymouth, in that first half. But again, a bit more they need to improve. They need to get on the ball better. They need to be stronger on the ball. But also at the same time, they need to try and find a way to penetrate Sheffield Wednesday, because down this left-hand side, they've been pretty comfortable, the home side. They haven't attacked down the right whatsoever in that first half. I mentioned we hadn't seen anything of Morgan Whittaker. I don't remember saying his name in that first half at all. We didn't really see much attack down the right from Plymouth in that first half, so that's something that I'm sure Wayne Rooney will be focusing on and trying to fix. But from Sheffield Wednesday's point of view, they can't really say that anything's gone wrong in that first half. The only thing they'd probably say is they probably should have a goal or two more, because they've played incredibly well. And up until they got that goal, in the end, up until they scored, they would have been frustrated that they hadn't found the net. They got the goal in the 35th minute, but up until that point, they were threatening constantly on the Plymouth goal, and they were having good chances, really good opportunities, but just not had that clinical edge. But again, one man who did have clinical edge, Jamal Lowe, 35th minute, had 6 touches before he scored. The 7th touch was the tap-in. Good move down the right-hand side. Barry Bannon played it forward. The cross came in from Ingleson right across the 18-yard box, and sliding to it was Jamal Lowe to tap it in for a goal on his debut, his competitive debut for Sheffield Wednesday. So it's, once again, a really nice finish, really controlled, but it's also kind of settled the crowd. I mean, it got them up, it got them cheering, it got them kind of energised again, but because the atmosphere was gone a bit flat, but it also kind of relaxed them. You could feel maybe a bit of frustration from the crowd that maybe they hadn't scored, but once they did score, they kind of played with a bit more freedom towards the end of the half. It was a bit more even as the half came to an end, but I don't think there was anything really threatening for Danny Roll to really worry about for his side at half-time. But again, a lot of work for Wayne Rooney to try and figure out from that first half, because yes, it's only 1-0, and of course, on the basis of things, on the balance of the scoreline, they're still very much in the game. But in the way that they've played, and the game that we've watched this afternoon, they certainly weren't and haven't been in the game for the majority of that first half. They've been pretty poor, Plymouth. But a second half to come where they certainly can improve it. Right, that is where we stand at the break then. It is concluded in a couple of our games. Cliftonville have won on the opening day, the Irish Cup holders, beating Portadown, the newly promoted side in the Irish Premiership, by a goal to nil. Ryan Curran's goal was enough. Aberdeen have gone back-to-back victories at the start of the new Scottish Premiership season, winning 3-1 at home to St Mirren, and it's still underway between Kilmarnock and St Johnstone, but St Johnstone 3-0 up. Let's have a look at the rest of this weekend's fixtures from the Championship and the results, the 10 results before today's game. On Friday night we had a double header as we saw the first game of the new season get us off to a cracking start. 6 goals, the joint most goals of any game this weekend. 4-2 in which Blackburn got the win. John Eustace's first win at home as permanent Blackburn manager, of course, so that was a great victory. Derby, the newly promoted side, held their own for a time, but did look a bit open at times. Did Paul Warren's side, and that's why they conceded those goals. They had super subs in that game, Blackburn. 3 of their substitutes scoring, including that man Sammy Schmodix, who scored 27 goals last season on the score sheet on Friday night. Sheffield United, the other side of Sheffield, had a great night on Friday night too. A trip to Preston to Deepdale, and they won 2-0 on Friday night. 2 strange goals, but well taken goals ultimately. 2 big mistakes really from Preston that let them down. Saw them lose at home without scoring. And then yesterday, 8 games at lunchtime. Cardiff, one of the teams pipped to be relegated this season, alongside Sunderland, are pipped to be in a relegation battle, but Sunderland got off to a winning start. 2 of their main scorers from last season getting on the score sheet, Luke O'Nien and Jack Clark, the goal scorers there to secure the victory for Sunderland. Hull left it late to secure a point out of Bristol City. Bristol City were 1-0 up heading into the final minutes, but a late penalty from Hull secured the point. Leeds left it very, very late. Brendan Aronson with the equaliser late on in that game before Portsmouth had led that game twice. Leeds took the lead, Portsmouth turned it all round. Leeds levelled again before Portsmouth took the lead again before Leeds had the final say. 3-3 in a 6-goal thriller at Ellen Road in the opening weekend of the season. Middlesbrough had less goals, but won, and that was the crucial penalty that secured victory for Michael Carrick's side at the Riverside on the opening weekend. Millwall, though, they started home with a defeat. Another big scoring game. Watford cruised into a 2-0 lead. Millwall then crawled it all back. Duncan Watmore with a brace to equalise, in the game 2-2 before Watford ended up winning the match by 3-2. Oxford, the shock of the weekend. Newly promoted Oxford performing very well winning 2-0 against a very haphazard and low-pressured Norwich. A really poor performance from Norwich City under their new manager. QPR beaten at home by West Brom. West Brom a hat-trick from Josh Maja, the former Fulham player, secured the victory for West Brom. And Stoke winning 1-0 secured them the 3 points on the opening weekend at home to Coventry. At half-time, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Plymouth 0, and tomorrow we watch Luton take on Burnley. The final score from the Scottish Premiership, Kilmarnock 0, St Johnstone 3. The second half of the Championship game at Hillsborough is on the way next. Back to Championship Live. Second half between Sheffield Wednesday and Plymouth is on the way in a moment. Don't forget, more Championship action for you tomorrow night as the opening weekend of the new season comes to a close as Luton take on Burnley, two sides relegated from the Premier League last season, and they face each other in a matchup tomorrow, 8 o'clock, live on LFS. Players back out on the field for the second period here at Hillsborough. And the sunshine continuing. They're all trying to keep themselves cool out there. That's why we needed a drinks break in that first half. It's not often you see a drinks break in England, but very rare. But today at 25-degree heat in Sheffield, it's one of those rare occasions, where they do need it. And ultimately, they got it in that first half. And if the heat continues, I'm guessing we'll get one in the second half, depending on the heat. Right, back underway then, and work certainly for Plymouth to do in this second half, because in that first half they really offered nothing. And if Wayne Rooney wants to get off to a winning start or off to a good start, picking up points in the opening weekend, he needs to get his side going, get them something in the final third, start to create chances, give them something to work this out, because at the moment Sheffield Wednesday are just playing around them, and here they come again. Here's Gassama. On the overlap was Valerie to cut it back into the box. Bannon has two shots out of blocked. Plymouth can't clear their lines. Bit wasteful in the box. And Valerie, there's a threat. Will be a corner. That's frustrating for Barry Bannon. But a positive start to the second half for Sheffield Wednesday. Really positive start to the second half. Had two real pops of the cherry. There. Did Barry Bannon. Tried to placed the first one and then struck it with the second, and neither of them find the net. And Danny Roll, as clueless as anyone, or as unsure as anyone, as to how that didn't go in. Cross comes in, Windass with a header, with a cross, and the header is in and wide. Iorfa was there, header was up, see it in again. Good cross by Windass from the corner, and Iorfa got up there above everyone else, but just couldn't direct it on target. Actually took a deflection. And again, another one of those moments, Connor Hazard wanted his defender to keep it, to leave it, let it run. It was going wide. But another cheap corner given away. Seen quite a lot of those this afternoon from Plymouth. 10 corners for Sheffield Wednesday in this game. So bodies tussling. Barry Bannon to deliver the corner. Cleared away at the front post. Headed back into the mix. And there might be an offside flag gone up here. No, Connor Hazard has the grasp of it. Gassama was the one threatening, but he didn't touch the ball. So Connor Hazard gathers. Again, a really positive start to the second half for Sheffield Wednesday. I think Plymouth just need to get the ball forward. They've really struggled to kind of get into the final third competitively. That's a nice move though. Here they are trying to break in behind. It's Bundu. Gets to the edge of the box. Lays it out to the left hand side. The cross is high, but it is far too high from Nathaniel Ogbeta. And it goes for a long throw in on the far side. That's wasted effort. Touches in the opposition box in that first half. 25 touches in the opposition box for Sheffield Wednesday to Plymouth's 5. So 5 times the amount of threat in the opposition box in that first half did Sheffield Wednesday have. That shows you how dominant they were in that first period and how well they were progressing in that final third. They were getting into the box consistently against Plymouth, and Plymouth were really struggling, feeding off scraps, as they say, as Gassama gets forward. Look at the freedom that Sheffield Wednesday play with to win the ball. Gassama looks to step in from the right hand side. Gassama trying to shoot. Well charged down. It's one back. Galloway that got the block on that one. So it's one back again. Out wide from Valerie. Picked up again by Gassama. Feeds it down the line. Ingleson to put it across. And the target in there was Jamal Lowe. But he couldn't direct it towards goal. Again, lovely work in between the lines. Fabulous ball by Valerie. Finds Gassama. And he's got space down the right hand side to feed Ingleson, who lifts it across. Looking for Jamal Lowe. He's wide of the right post. But, I mean, not the best bits of defending there from Plymouth defensively. Their back line were a bit disjointed there, not all in line with each other. And that allowed Ingleson to just break the lines and get that cross in. Wednesday trying to go down the line again. Jamal Lowe targeting once more, but the flag was up against him for offside. So free kick given here for Plymouth. Wayne Rooney with work to do. He watches on after he had that talk with his players at the interval and wonder what he said to his players at half time. Always fascinates me how managers motivate players, and you know, I mean, it's no need for motivation in the second half. You know, you stayed up by the skin of your teeth last season in terms of Plymouth, and I mean both sides, but Plymouth are behind at the moment. They're the ones that need the talk. But as I was saying, they stayed up by the skin of their teeth. They're in a new season. They want to prove themselves. That's enough motivation. You're away from home, opening weekend of the season. It's a new campaign, fresh start, clean slate, new manager, new system, new regime. Kind of go out and show yourself. And I mean, there's not much more motivation than you need than that, really. But it's more tactically than anything that I think Plymouth need a bit more help, because they really haven't been threatening very much. And here come Wednesday again, and you want to try and help them out when they can affect it, because there's bodies in the box. And Plymouth again can't clear it. Windass picks it up, but poor pass gives it away. Bundu tries to get Plymouth on the counter. Got a bit of space to break there, although that's not a great tussle as Giabi loses out. Musaba, Ingleson to Bannon. Down the left hand side it comes to Musaba, lifting it into the box. The header, oh, Jamal Lowe, it's in the net. An own goal. Inadvertently it found its way in. Jamal Lowe had the first header, and it deflected in off the head of the defender. That is most certainly not the start to the second half that Plymouth would have needed. And Jamal Lowe, he's the king of minimal touches but maximum impact. It's an own goal, but it was all set up by Jamal Lowe. Again, break down the left hand side. Again, from the wide areas, Plymouth, no real threat to stop Sheffield Wednesday. No one combating their wide attack. No one engages to try and stop the winger getting the cross in. Really good delivery by Musaba. Jamal Lowe got up for the header, headed it straight across goal, and it headed off. Brendan Galloway tried to head it over the top, back towards his own goal. It kind of clattered off him, and it goes right into his own net. Head and hands moment for Brendan Galloway, but a lovely moment for Sheffield Wednesday. And a moment to look longingly into the distance once again for Wayne Rooney. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Plymouth Argyle 0. And I said Plymouth needed a bit of tactical help to give them an out ball, to give them a threat, to give them anything to go forward with. And, you know, you could see it coming. I mean, it is as blatant as blood on a spotlight. I mean, as another cross from Valerie, and the clamouring of a shot at the back post from Musaba does go narrowly wide. But again, Plymouth are at 6s and 7s here. They're not tracking runners. I mean, it's all over the place. It's a nice give and go between Ingleson and Valerie down the right hand side, and he crosses it in beautifully, and Musaba just has to try and manoeuvre, get his feet in the right positions, and he just clamours it, gets any sort of touch on it, and it just goes narrowly wide in the end. But Wednesday are on fire, and they are not looking to stop scoring anytime soon. Here's Jamal Lowe off the right hand side, looking to set it up. Nice 1-2 just behind Lowe, blocked off, but again too easily beaten off the ball there. Here's Lowe again, puts it into the box, and the flick is not towards target but still kept in. Jamal Lowe steps across, still alive in the box. Can he get a shot off? He just slides out of room. Goodness me, Plymouth are all over the place. This is shocking. Shocking. I mean, it's the opening weekend of the season. I can expect a bit of kind of sloppy play at times, but they look leggy. There might have been an offside in there, actually, on that second goal, by the way. We're just seeing a replay of it, and Jamal Lowe looks just offside. If VAR was in the Championship, which I'm sure a lot of people are happy that it's not, but if it was, that might have been disallowed. But nonetheless, since that moment, I mean, Plymouth have looked like they're going to concede another 3 goals in a matter of seconds. I mean, they really need to kind of relax themselves and sort this out. Another ball from the keeper, intercepted but headed out for the throw, and changes incoming from Wayne Rooney. A triple substitution incoming. 55 minutes gone. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Plymouth 0, and changes are afoot. It may be necessary. As Sissoko there, just taken down once more, wins the free kick, which was the basis for his first half involvement. So, triple changes incoming then for Plymouth. And let's just bring you through those changes. So the first one is going to be Mustafa Bundu. He's going to make way for Callum Wright. Tijani is going to come off, and Ogbeta as well. So Ogbeta and Tijani, and they are going to be replaced once as well. So Bundu, Tijani and Ogbeta all coming off and replaced by Ryan Hardy, Callum Wright and Bali Mumba. So Mumba, Wright and Hardy on for Tijani, Bundu and Ogbeta. And they're hoping, well, Wayne Rooney and the Plymouth fans are hoping they can change the fortunes of their side here at this moment in time, because they have been nowhere near it today and have not been threatening Sheffield Wednesday very much at all in this game. Whittaker was probably one of his first 15 touches of the game. Is dispossessed. Again, really not seen very much of Morgan Whittaker at all. They've really struggled to get him into the game down that right-hand side. That's a lovely link-up. And again, another free kick given away Brit cheaply by Adam Forshaw. And he needs to relax here. Might find himself in the book very shortly. He keeps goldering at the referee. Lovely 1-2. That was fabulous. I think it was Engelson and Musaba down that left-hand side. It was absolutely fabulous. Just the give and go, the quick feet, the little flick. And ultimately, free kick given to Sheffield Wednesday as they try and battle down that right flank again. Valerie leading the charge, battling for every single ball as he's pushed to the floor there by Ballymumba. And another free kick going Sheffield Wednesday's way. Valerie, who stayed down there, battling for every single ball. He's charging down Ballymumba every single chance, and he nicks the ball. And he just goes down, and then he gets pushed to the floor by Ballymumba on the ball, and free kick goes the way of the home side. Jan Valery, of course. The Tunisian, 25-year-old, joined Sheffield Wednesday for an undisclosed fee this summer from Angers. Did have a spell at Southampton, started at Southampton, and was also on loan at Birmingham as well previously. Bannon trying to deliver into the box. Valerie will rescue. Here's Jamal Lowe on the right flank, literally at the corner flag, up against Forshaw, trying to spin his way around them. And Sissoko was involved, and the last touch is deemed to have come off Ibrahim Sissoko, which really incenses him. Remember, he's on a yellow card, so he has to really watch himself. As Wednesday take the corner short, quickly. Bannon into the box. The flicked header is over the bar. I mean, it looks like Plymouth are getting really frustrated at this moment in time. They're arguing with referees, really kind of stepping up to the mark, really stepping up to kind of arguing with referees and officials, and just really showing their frustration, using their mouths and not playing football. It's just that frustration, not just having a chance, a break, an out ball, all that can kind of compound in a team. And you know, it's tough. It's tough for a club and a team when you have no outlet. I mean, they've had absolutely nothing of an outlet this afternoon, and it's really disappointing for a side that, you know, looked to be on the up at the end of last season. And I mean, it's only the first game of the season. It's a long, long way to go, of course. But, you know, you don't want to start off with a poor performance. I mean, you can lose the first game. No one's advocating that, oh yeah, just lose the first game. But at least show a good performance. They haven't shown a good performance today up front at all. And at times I said they were at 6s and 7s. They were flying around each other. I mean, they're running like headless chickens at times, trying to figure out tactics and figure out who's to follow who and who's to go where. I mean, that's not what you want at the start of a season. And look at this again. Sheffield Wednesday are just cruising. They're loving this. It's like a training exercise at this moment in time. They're absolutely running rings around them. And another free kick given here. And again, it's that man, Jan Valery, who's absolutely got Brendan Galloway on toast. Great break down the right-hand side. No chance on the cover there. I mean, sliding in far too early there was Ogbeta. And then it's absolutely done in on the spin. Did Galloway, and Valery winning the free kick once again. He's been fantastic this afternoon, Jan Valery. But every Sheffield Wednesday player to a man have been fantastic. They have been very, very impressive. .62 minutes gone. Wednesday 2, Plymouth 0. Wednesday with a set piece here on the right hand side. Chance to add to their lead. Bannon leaves it. Windass with a cross, back post, and it was a teasing one across the box. Deshaun Bernard was the man that got onto the head of it at the back post. Really whipped across by Windass, bouncing in the box, and Deshaun Bernard tries to head it across goal, but just catches his forehead, couldn't keep it down, and goes behind for the goal kick. Plymouth try and play out from the back here. Gibson going to switch it across in for Ogbeta. Sorry, not Ogbeta. He was substituted. Ballymumba. Apologies. Lovely cross though. Oh, from Jan Valery. Mumba got absolutely done down the right hand side again, and Jan Valery just blasted across in. Lovely cross and threatening one. No one could find the end of it though for Sheffield Wednesday as Plymouth try and counter themselves. Down the left hand side it comes. Here's Sissoko. Bodies arriving in the area, the majority of them in home colours. As the cross goes over the head of the substitute Callum Wright and out for a Sheffield Wednesday throw-in on the far side. I mean, it's better play, but again, another chance wasted, another one gone quite a bit a begging there completely. I have to say, I think Adam Forshaw's name's spelt wrong on the back of that shirt. Just got a shot of the back of Adam Forshaw's shirt. I don't think he has an E in his surname. Forshaw, I think. That's what it officially is, but I mean, if that goes to prove the much preparation that Plymouth have put into this game, that they've got one of their players' shirts wrong, I mean, do I need to say any more? Here's Ballymumba. Pretty simple name to pronounce and to spell. One of those substitutes. They try and string a few passes together now. Try and add that threat down the right hand side. Here's Callum Wright to Morgan Whittaker. Pressed instantly, but they keep the ball for the moment, Plymouth. Back to Paulson. Now Gibson. Across to Brendan Galloway. Now to the left hand side now. Ibrahim Sissoko. Trying to drive in field, but again just runs into an opposing body. That time it was JG Gassama, and Sheffield Wednesday win the ball back. 25 minutes to go at Hillsborough. It is Sheffield Wednesday 2, Plymouth 0, and again it's been pretty much controlling from Sheffield Wednesday. Very impressive start to the campaign. Very impressive performance up to this point. And they want to add more. And I think they could add more. Here's Windass. Looked to be charging down a dead end there, but did try and find an out ball. Couldn't find a teammate. Not for the want of trying though, as Ballymumba absolutely oversteps that one and almost gives it away. Almost pays the price for running across the edge of his own box. I'm not being careful, but Plymouth do get the free kick as foul on, I think it was Gyabi. So another change incoming for Plymouth then. So Ibrahim Sissoko is going to be the one that makes way. I did mention he's probably one of their best players of the game so far. I mean, there's not much competition for that. And he's been replaced by Frederick Isaka. The 18-year-old Welshman came through the Plymouth under-18s, the youth side at Plymouth. Of course, joined the first team last summer. Kind of got that step up. Played 5 games last season, made 5 appearances. All of last season. He actually scored in pre-season in a 2-2 draw with Orlando Pirates. Did Frederick Isaka, but hasn't scored in a competitive match at the top level for Plymouth yet. We do have that drinks break then at the moment, and we can tell you tomorrow night, Luton-Burnley is our offering for you. The final game of the opening weekend of the Championship season sees Luton face Burnley, two sides relegated from the Premier League last season. They face each other tomorrow night at Kenilworth Road. New era for Burnley under Scott Parker, and Rob Edwards continuing that job as he is doing at Kenilworth Road at Luton. Then on Tuesday night, it's the first round of the EFL Cup. The League Cup is back. Liverpool, the defending champions, and they will be in action not until at least September in the third round, Liverpool, but they all start with EFL clubs in round 1 in midweek, and these two clubs are in action. Sheffield Wednesday head to Hull on Wednesday night. I got confused with the days there. Wednesday night, the 14th of August, they head to Hull City. And Plymouth also in action on Wednesday night. They host Cheltenham. We will have action on Tuesday night from all of the EFL Cup first round action. And we'll be watching Sheffield United against Wrexham. Two sides who won on the opening weekend of the season. They'll be hoping to keep that win going in the first round of the League Cup. That's on Tuesday night. As Plymouth just about get away with one there. The home crowd felt there was a corner there, that the ball had just gone over the byline, but the officials and the assistant, who had a good view on that side, didn't agree. Said that they just kept in play there. They do get the throw-in out of it, Plymouth, on the left-hand side ultimately after that bit of saving work that they did at the back. Of course, we're only a couple of days away from the Premier League returning this Friday. Friday night, we watch Manchester United after their defeat in the Community Shield yesterday on penalties. They start their league campaign at home against Fulham in the Premier League Friday night from Old Trafford. Here's Musaba! Couldn't find the finish. Really good solo run up the middle. Just lacking the final finish. But again, that's a really nice run. Good break forward on the spin. Breaks away from Morgan Whittaker. Bursts into pace. Up the middle. Through the lines. And no one stopping him. And he just drags it slightly wide of the right post with the left boot there. And ultimately going wide. But another positive moment for Musaba. Scored 7 goals and 5 assists in the Championship last season. Wants to get his account open for the new season. Barry Bannon with a cross. That's a lovely cross, but the header hasn't got much on it there from Jamal Lowe. And the keeper, Connor Hazard, gathered there for Plymouth. It's Ballymumba. Just a bit of a push by Jamal Lowe. Sees Plymouth get the free kick there. Jamal Lowe's been everywhere in this second half. First half, he scored his goal and had minimal touches, but much more involvement in the second half. And heavily involved in both goals, of course. He indirectly helped the second goal as Plymouth, nervy at the back. Hazard fires one out. Well taken down by Adam Forshaw. Under pressure there was Connor Hazard. Did get away fairly as Whittaker just again laboured on the ball, but he does get the free kick out of it. Bit of a loose one from Max Lowe there, that challenge. It's Ballymumba. As Isaka wants to try and have a run, but well closed down by Jan Valery. Barry Bannon does really well to spin away from his marker. Adam Forshaw, two experienced men in the business. Barry Bannon's been fabulous this afternoon. Truly capped off a captain's performance. Fabulous play. There's little touches, there's little passes. I mean, he's been spraying passes around at times. Out to the wide areas. I mean, not just a rigid, hard, kind of physical battler, but also a really good technical player. It's Barry Bannon, and I mean, it's well documented, but even better. Here's Josh Windass. Plays it out to the left-hand side, and the shot from Musaba goes flying over the bar. You're not getting a better chance than that to try and find the net, and he just couldn't keep the shot down. Again, good work down the right-hand side. Nice ball played across, and Windass just squares it out to the, or plays it out to the left-hand side. On running is Musaba. No one anywhere near him. Again, really poor defending. And Musaba doesn't take the benefit of it, doesn't make the most of it, and it just goes flying over the bar for a goal kick. As Max Lowe is going to receive treatment here, so there's a stoppage in play. At this moment in time, it is a hot day. It's hot even here in Northern Ireland, in the studio here. It is absolutely boiling. It is roasting. I can't even imagine what running about in 25-degree heat is. Sitting in it, it's not much more comfortable. Changes incoming then for Sheffield Wednesday, who haven't made a change yet, but they're going to make changes at this juncture. Love that word, juncture. Changes incoming then for Wednesday. Might be a triple change. Waiting on the fourth officials board going up. If he wants to do his job anytime soon, that'll be nice. I have no idea who's coming on and coming off. I don't have the numbers, so we'll wait and get the full confirmation of those, because the fourth official is just standing there with the board and not putting up numbers. I mean, it's kind of the point of the board. Anyway, Max Lowe is going to be coming off. He's one of those coming off. And also JG Gassama is going to be coming off. And they're going to be replaced by Marvin Johnson and Olaf Kabaki. Olaf Kabaki and Marvin Johnson replacing Max Lowe and JG Gassama. So a double substitution from Wednesday there, with just over 15 minutes to go here at Hillsborough. Still 2-0 to the home side. The opener came in the first half. Max Lowe, or not Max Lowe, the other Lowe, Jamal Lowe, knocking in from around about 6 yards or 7 yards or so, sliding in. Nice cross from Ingleson on the right hand side, and the second came from an own goal from Galloway. Again, Jamal Lowe heavily involved, crossing the left-hand side, this time from Musaba into the box. Jamal Lowe headed across goal, and it just came off the head of Brendan Galloway, who had little to no time to react, and it just bounced off his head and into the back of his own net. Great header, just didn't mean it. An own goal, all but compounding Plymouth's poor performance today, really. And I don't think they can really argue with it as much as that's a poor pass by Connor Hazard. Out from the back, and Lowe latching upon the end of it, trying to find the run. And well closed down by Mumba in the end, who got back and recovered. Will be a corner to Sheffield Wednesday. A poor pass by Connor Hazard. Got away with it. A corner incoming then, of which Josh Windass will come over and take. Corner fizzed into the box. The header is up, but not much pace on that one, and easy enough for Connor Hazard to gather. Not much real threat on that one at all from a Plymouth point of view to worry about. Adam Forshaw tries to ignite a bit of a spark in this Plymouth side. We've had a struggle today as Hardy tries to break forward, but well covered over by Dominic Iorfa. And Deshaun Bernard is the one to make the challenge, and Hardy closed out. Really strong defending once again, and Sheffield Wednesday doing well at both ends of the field. As you can see, the live table, Sheffield Wednesday will be up inside the top 6, of course. it's only the opening weekend of the season. They would join quite a decent list of 8 other teams that have won on the opening weekend of the season. Blackburn, West Brom, Oxford, Sunderland, Watford, Middlesbrough, Stoke and Sheffield United. But Sheffield United are only on 1 point, of course, with their 2-point deduction at the start of the season. They're only on 1 point after their first win. But they are the exclusive list at this point that have won. Burnley and Luton still to play are the only 2 teams that haven't had their say just yet. Plymouth would join that club of teams that lost on the opening weekend if they continue with this scoreline. Preston, Norwich, Cardiff, QPR, Derby, Swansea, Coventry and Millwall. All the sides that have lost on the opening weekend of the new season. Plymouth would be joining them if they are to not find a way back into this one, which looks unlikely to say the least at this stage, because it's been all Sheffield Wednesday. And to say Plymouth have had any sort of kind of attacking threat this afternoon would be a barefaced lie, because they've been nowhere near the goal, nowhere near testing at all James Beadle. I can't remember the last time I said his name, to be honest, because he's been that little involved in the game. He's not had much to do at all. The Sheffield Wednesday keeper this afternoon, and I mean, Plymouth have had 2 shots, 1 on target. Compare that to Sheffield Wednesday, have had 19 shots, 4 on target. A bit low on the shots on target ratio, but a lot of shots from Sheffield Wednesday shows they're getting into constant positions that they can threaten Plymouth. And they deservedly have a 2-goal lead. In terms of XG, which, if you don't know already, it basically tells you, on the basis of the chances that you have created, how many goals should you have in the game. Sheffield Wednesday underperforming slightly their XG, 2.48 XG, so they should have, on the basis of the chances they've created, at least 2 goals. And the opponents wise, Plymouth 0.12 XG, so nowhere near scoring a goal. Here's another chance. Here's Josh Windass in the box. The ball falls to the back post. This shot from Kabachki couldn't find the net. Well blocked off in the box there by Plymouth. We just had a glimpse of Timo Werner in the crowd today. Certainly would have been the last player on planet Earth, or last person on planet Earth, that I would have expected to be at Hillsborough today. But there we are. Strange things happen. Last 10 minutes of this game then, and it looks like Sheffield Wednesday will be cruising to victory once more, like they ended last season. Both clubs ended last season with a victory on the final day. It looks like Sheffield Wednesday are going to be starting the new season with 3 points, and at the moment it looks like they're going to keep a clean sheet as well, although I do not want to jinx them. We'll see. Barry Bannon plays a nice ball out to the right hand side. Ingleson, Bannon, back it comes to Iorfa, across to Bernard. Now Josh Windass on the spin, finds Musaba. Bannon with a lovely ball in behind, below the threats. Well closed out by Lewis Gibson, who puts it out for the throw on the left hand side. Good defending. Jamal Lowe was running in to threaten. Throw in comes in quickly. Bodies in the box here for Sheffield Wednesday. Ball comes across and the shot ends up into the back of the net. Josh Windass to add a third. The cherry on the icing, on the cake on the opening weekend of the season for Sheffield Wednesday. Relegation threatened on the final day. They needed a victory to secure safety. And on the opening day, on the opening weekend, they are making Plymouth look like chump change at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday 3, Plymouth Argyle 0, and it all comes from a throw-in, again from those wide areas. Plymouth offering nothing at stopping Sheffield Wednesday here at all. Nice work in between the lines. Poked into an area. Musaba gets to the byline, sends Lewis Gibson for the shopping, and he cuts it back beautifully. And on to the end of it. A poacher's finish indeed from Josh Windass. Not a traditional poacher, but he certainly applied the poacher kind of traits there to find that finish. And Danny Roll, who's done a remarkable job since becoming the Sheffield Wednesday manager, it looks like that remarkable job is going to be continuing into the new season, and his players certainly performing this afternoon. And what a great time to do it. His last involvement there, Josh Windass, is finding the net, and as soon as he does that, he gets substituted. His last involvement, his most crucial. So 3-0, and changes incoming here for Sheffield Wednesday. The job is done. The game is over. I mean, it was been over for a while, but probably been over since the very first whistle, to be honest. On the basis of the way Plymouth have played, very negative, very pointless, very blunt. Jan Valery and Josh Windass, the changes for Sheffield Wednesday, and the two substitutes, Paul Valentin and Michael Smith, are the two that have just come on in their places. A couple more debutants to make the moment involved. And that man, Josh Windass, of course, has been a Sheffield Wednesday player for quite a number of years. He initially joined on a loan deal in January of 2020 from Wigan Athletic, then went back to Wigan for a matter of 2 months before he joined Sheffield Wednesday on transfer deadline day back in September of 2020 for £499,000. A great investment from Sheffield Wednesday on the then 26-year-old, 30 now, very experienced player, and he's just added a third to Sheffield Wednesday's lead. And Adam Forshaw has to do a bit of defending against one of the substitutes. Another corner for Sheffield Wednesday. They are loving this afternoon out at Hillsborough. The home crowd are cheering and applauding along, singing along under the sunshine at Hillsborough. Beautiful day for it, and their players are responding with beautiful football. Barry Bannon to take this corner then. Left-footed delivery, fizz to the back post. Header is just a bit too high for Smith. He does keep it in play though. He'll whip it back into the box. Right-footed delivery, palmed away by Hazard and hooked clear as Hazard couldn't keep the hold of the ball. Bannon recycles. That's a lovely bit of work into the box and well closed down. Another one of those substitutes for Sheffield Wednesday. Kubacki getting into the box there, but could not find the finish. Couldn't find the shooting opportunity, but they're wanting more. The crowd are certainly cheering them along, and they feel that they can get another at least. Here's Musaba, who's been fabulous down that left-hand flank all afternoon for Sheffield Wednesday. Although Plymouth might have a rare foray forward here. A shot. What was that? I mean, it's actually quite good that Plymouth didn't get up the field as often, because if they did that often, they would really be struggling. Morgan Whittaker with an absolute dreadful strike. Dragged it so far wide it was near the corner flag. Really bad, that. Just really bad. The Plymouth fans, glum faces in the shade. I mean, if there's ever a metaphor, Plymouth have played like they're playing in the shade today. And their fans certainly sitting in the shade with those glum faces. And the sun shining down on those Sheffield Wednesday fans who have seen their side play absolutely beautiful football. That's the metaphor of the day. Of the weekend, in a sense, if you catch my drift. Smith tries to play the hold-up role, but just couldn't keep the possession for the moment. Maybe a late bit of play from Plymouth here. Callum Wright's trying to battle forward. Ball bounces into the path of one of those players, Gyabi, sorry, for Plymouth. Maybe a bit of room to maybe get a consolation. Gyabi! Decent effort. Just goes narrowly wide. And that's probably their best chance of the game. And it's a half chance at the very most there. But not a bad effort from Darko Gyabi. As I said, on loan this season from Leeds United. Continuing that short season loan that they had for Gyabi from last season, so continuing that loan spell. Substitution for Sheffield Wednesday, Liam Palmer is coming on here. So Palmer coming on in the latter stages, replacing Savante Ingleson. And he's getting the cheers. There's Colleen Rooney, Wayne Rooney's wife, of course. If you haven't been living under a rock for the last 2.5 decades, I don't even know how long they're married, but I mean, Colleen Rooney, a well-known name, and his son there as well. Kai Rooney is watching on, supporting their relative, shall I say, in Wayne Rooney. Certainly a lot for Wayne Rooney to think about, and a lot to kind of assess from this game, because a side that were regarded as possibly their equal last season, and the fact that they were both saved from relegation on the final day, but very different lookings about these two teams this afternoon. Sheffield Wednesday playing really nice football, really lovely football, recruited really well over the summer, but also at the same time a really good, strong head coach in Danny Roll, who has got them working, has figured out a way of getting the best out of these Sheffield Wednesday players. You know, it's not a coincidence that they were rock bottom of the league when he came into the job last season, halfway through the season, and he saved them from relegation. 50 points at last season when taking over, and a very, very positive outcome in that season, and they're looking to build, and they've certainly deserved the 3 points here this afternoon. No doubt about it. 3 very well worked goals. A bit of luck on the own goal for the second, but well created. But the other 2 goals that were scored by players in blue and white were really well created. Last 30 seconds of the 90 minutes then, here at Hillsborough. And it will be, as it stands, a nice looking league table for those Sheffield Wednesday fans. At the end of the day, we'll have a look at the league table before we leave you this afternoon. Long ball forward there from James Beadle as we hit the 90-minute mark. And we will have 6 added minutes, of course, with that drink stoppage and all of those substitutions. They all add up. And the added time here. I keep seeing shots of Plymouth fans. I don't think they're particularly happy with the added time that they've been given. Here they come. They want to have a goal. Bit of a consolation maybe incoming. Space closed down. This shot wide again. Morgan Whittaker. That one was much better on top. Much better targeting. Much better accuracy, I mean. Again, it just sums up their afternoon, really. Nothing is going their way whatsoever. And that man, Morgan Whittaker, a very talented footballer, really good footballer, but he's really struggled to get into the game at all today whatsoever. And that's something that, if they want to get him involved and get him to his best, they need to change that, and fast. He's a very, very good player, Morgan Whittaker. Here's Musaba to try and get Wednesday forward late on. Good challenge out there by Victor Paulson. So we're in for Wednesday, taken quickly. Musaba. Between the lines, Bannon. Back it comes to Bernard. Down the left it goes to substitute there. As they get it to the byline, trying to squeeze it through, they will get the corner. Nicely worked. And it was Jamal Lowe that was battling for it at the byline. Did win the corner. As I mentioned, don't forget, one more offering for you tomorrow night, Monday night. Kenilworth Road is our venue. Under the lights as Luton take on Burnley tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Won't want to miss that one. Surely to be exciting. Corner delivered in. Half cleared, not convincing at all that from Plymouth. Bannon. Back down the left it comes. Looking for the cross. Well blocked out by Palsson again. And that was Valentin that was trying to put that cross in. Halfway through the added time. Bannon round the corner for Kobakshi. Kobakshi with a cross. Header by Smith. And Lowe tried to stretch for it. Couldn't reach it as it's cleared away. Very, very close again to adding a fourth to the scoreboard. And they're not giving up yet. Ball chipped over the top. Here's Jamal Lowe. Takes the touch. Chests it down. And as he takes this shot, it's deflected behind for the corner. But again, incredible from Jamal Lowe. Wonderful. Chipped over the top. Chests it. Takes a second touch. And then as he takes the strike, Plymouth get bodies in the way. But that's really nice centre forward play. And he gets his side the corner. Barry Bannon takes once more. Left-footed delivery. Fizz across the front post. Flicked across the front post. But all the way through. Out the other end as Wednesday keep the possession. On the edge of the box. Looking for a bit of space. Takes the shot. Block. Charge down. As they try and get it back and recycle really nicely out to the left-hand side. Looks... Everybody wants a chance. And the shot comes in. Saved by Connor Hazard. And as it was that took that shot, it was a really nice effort. Connor Hazard's had a torrid day. He's not had a minute of it. Through into Plymouth, Sheffield Wednesday, down the right hand side. 24 shots for Sheffield Wednesday today to Plymouth's 5. 5. Wow. Just wow. That's all you can really say. Ballymumba does get the throw in for Plymouth. Actually, it was Plymouth throw in. I got it right the first time. Comes to nothing because they lose the ball instantly. Here's Barry Bannon trying to play it down the line. Kobakshi will get the throw in. Last minute of the 6 added. And looks like we'll just going to be seeing this one out. Sheffield Wednesday will be seeing this one out at the very end. Long throw into the box. Flicked on. Barry Bannon was the target, but well cleared away by Adam Forshaw. And Musaba tries to get past Forshaw again, but closed out for the throw. Right to the very death here. Wednesday wanting to add a fourth. Really desperate for it, it seems. Bannon. Around the corner it goes. The cross comes across, and Smith stretching for it does force it home. They were desperate for a fourth, and they got the fourth. Compounding the defeats on Plymouth massively and capping off a wonderful Sheffield Wednesday display. 4 wonderful goals on a beautiful afternoon in Sheffield, and a wonderful display from the home side. Michael Smith did get the first touch, tried to tap it in. Hazard got in his way, really good cross from the left. Stretch for it, Smith, and then the ball bounces down and he absolutely forces it home. And a bit of luck for Smith, but I said they were desperate for it, and you could see it. They really wanted that fourth. I don't know why they wanted a fourth, but that is surely the energy and the desire that I'm sure that man, Danny Roll, will want to see. Battling and attacking to the very last second. That is the commitment that these players have shown of Sheffield Wednesday today. As we get back underway, there shouldn't be much more to play in this game, as Plymouth won a consolation, but Wednesday closing it off well. Another one of those substitutes there, closing that out. And there is no time for anything else, because that is the final whistle. And a really wonderful display from Sheffield Wednesday this afternoon. A great way to start the new season for a side that scraped into the Championship on the final day last season. And they are back with a bang. And Danny Roll and his wonderful football that saved them last season is starting them off with a fantastic footing. Wonderful afternoon. It all started with a nice tap-in finish from Jamal Lowe stretching across the goal. The second, also Jamal Lowe heavily involved, his header in off Brendan Galloway to double Sheffield Wednesday's lead. The third, 8 minutes from time, from Josh Windass with a nice poacher's finish, before another one that capped off the wonderful display in the 96th minute from Michael Smith, who forced it home from around 2 yards. That is the way you want to start the new season, and a perfect display. Wayne Rooney loses his first game in charge of Plymouth Argyle. I don't know what to say on that front. Plymouth were nowhere near the level today. They looked like they had just met each other for the very first time. Couldn't string passes together, couldn't get forward, and couldn't really threaten whatsoever. But that is all credit to the home side. Final score at Hillsborough on the opening weekend of the season. It is Sheffield Wednesday 4, Plymouth Argyle 0. What a display from Sheffield Wednesday. And that ends off our only game in the Championship this afternoon. Only one game for you today. 4-0 victory for Sheffield Wednesday. They add their name to that list of teams that have won at home this weekend, or won at all this weekend. Blackburn, West Brom, Oxford, Sunderland, Watford, Middlesbrough, Stoke and Sheffield United all getting their ways off to a win. A few draws in the mix as well. Leeds, Portsmouth, Bristol City and Hull both all drawing their respective games. Burnley and Luton still to play, of course, and the teams all losing in order of margin of loss. Millwall, Coventry, Swansea, Derby, QPR, Cardiff, Norwich, Preston and Plymouth. Well, they started the day both in the middle of the table, and they end the day at opposite ends of the Championship table, as is the way with the opening weekend. Of course, you can go from top to bottom in one 90-minute spell. That is the early season syndrome. Let's have a look at the table then. And as you can see there, Sheffield Wednesday sit top of the tree. 3 points, but they have the best goal difference in the league so far. One of a number of sides that have kept a clean sheet on the opening weekend. A number 6 sides so far, including Sheffield Wednesday. They've kept a clean sheet in their first win of the season. And Plymouth, you have to go all the way down the bottom. As you can see, Blackburn in second, West Brom, Sunderland, Oxford and Watford all in the top 6 positions. Middlesbrough, Stoke and Sheffield United all capping off those wins. Sheffield United, of course, only on 1 point. Portsmouth, Leeds, Bristol City and Hull make up the top 13. If we go down to the bottom of the table, as you can see at the very bottom, is Plymouth, who have lost by the biggest margin, conceding 4 goals without reply. One of a number of sides that haven't scored in the opening weekend of the season. The likes of Coventry, Swansea, Cardiff, Norwich, Preston and Plymouth are amongst them that haven't scored in losing their first game. Just one more to come from the opening weekend of the Championship season, and it is a former All Premier League battle as Luton take on Burnley. Both sides relegated from the Premier League last season at Kenilworth Road. Rob Edwards takes on the new Burnley manager Scott Parker, who has history of getting sides promoted from the Championship. We'll see how he gets started with that Burnley side tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. But that's it from me here this afternoon. Great to have your company this afternoon, and a wonderful display at Hillsborough this afternoon. Sheffield Wednesday are massive winners on the opening weekend. The biggest winners on the opening weekend. Thanks for your company. Bye-bye.